Welcome to Conversations with K and J. We're your hosts, Kayla and Janae.
In here, we talk about love, life,
and lessons learned. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Daily Doses of Conversations with Kayla
and Janae.
In today's energy, we are looking into giving too much of ourselves. Boundaries are important. Giving to others can feel like a drug, and we get high off the feeling of being in service to others. But sometimes we can give too much of ourselves, so much that it begins to eat away at our hearts, sometimes without us even realizing it. We start to put other people's feelings, happiness, and well-being before our own. But by doing this, we do a great disservice to ourselves. There is a strength in setting boundaries. Know when enough is enough and when to take a step back, rest, and refuel so you can show up in the world as the best you. What you think?
I think it's just saying, pouring too much out of your cup.
When you barely got anything in it?
When you ain't got nothing, right.
Yeah.
And you do need to take that time to refill yourself. So that's taking time for yourself.
Right.
Give yourself some love for a while before doing for somebody else.
Yeah. Today in my planner, I had wrote, my personal development was going to sit down and figure out what's working and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that anything is going bad. I just feel like some things I'm exhausted over, just draining or dragging to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's just that moment to sit down and recollect and think of what is serving me at this stage or the season of my life and what is just not for me anymore, what I may have outgrown.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that goes from every perspective, from relationships to career to, whatever you want to look at it as. But for us collectively, this is tying into the Hierophant and the Page of Pentacles. So I'm looking at this more so as revisiting your commitments to whatever it is that you're committed to.
Mm-hmm.
And making sure that it's still something that you believe in, still something that you feel like is adding to your growth and supporting you towards the things that you want to see come about in your life. But more so with the Hierophant, we're looking at things that support what we stand on morally. I think this is going into a time within life where, again, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. Mm-hmm. So you have to know what you're standing on and making sure that the things and people that you're choosing also stand firmly on that foundation so you don't start to have any faultiness within your own, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, just deciding what you want to do and what you don't want to do anymore, what you want to not put time and effort into. Like you said, making commitment to somebody. If you tell somebody, yeah, I'll show up at this time to help you with this and you just don't feel like doing that shit, it's just like telling that person I got to focus on what I got going on right now and just not doing it.
Right. I saw a TikTok the other day and it was a pastor and she was talking about needing to basically, it was along the lines of this message, just really seeing what is going with you in this next season. She was like, if somebody's calling you and you've always picked up the phone for
mm-hmm.
them, but lately it's just been draining you to do it, to hold that conversation. You want to send them to voicemail, but you feel obligated to answer the phone because you've always been. She's
right.
like, just send them to voicemail because you've outgrown them. She was like, and it doesn't have to be looked at as a bad thing, but if something is taking more from you than coming in to help you
mm-hmm.
balance out yourself, you've outgrown it. There's more for you. And those people will go through their life and their lessons and find what they need. But you are really not the missing puzzle piece to anyone else's puzzle.
mm-hmm.
You are of your own.
Right. You're not obligated to pick up that phone. And that person on the other end won't take it personal if you don't. But then you'll sometimes have those people who will.
Mm-hmm.
who will text you and be like, dang, you didn't answer my call. Like, as if you haven't picked up 100 times before. Like,
right. So let's speak on that energy, because when we look at the bottom of the deck, we are like, it's speaking on that. How you standing in this Queen of Wands energy of being protective of you and yours, and making sure that, you know, everything within your foundation and your reality is good. You're going to have people with this Five of Wands that are going to have opinions, and, you know, they may say them to you, they may gossip around, and word gets back to you, but you cannot let that come within your present moment and start to cause insecurities, worries, or doubts, because in this case, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Right.
But it's better to be damned doing what you want to do and what you dream of, instead of just staying stuck in situations or relationships with people who, again, are still not adding anything to your growth. And I think that a clear distinction comes when you can see if these people are even putting any energy and effort into growing within their reality and trying to change things for them.
right.
Because I just said this on the YouTube collective, but like a person who is really involved within their own life and doing things to help them heal and grow is not really worried about the next person. You know, like a confident person is not sitting here belittling people and trying to make them feel insecure. If anything, they try to support people to be confident along with them. You know, so that's what I'm saying. A person who's growing and evolving in life is not going to sit here and try to keep you stuck or in the same place or want to pull you back, because they would be moving along with you, maybe literally in different directions, but still there's movement.
And somebody that you give advice to and they go about taking action. Like, you ain't talking about the same thing for months now, you know?
Yeah.
You giving advice to somebody that keep calling and talking about the same thing that you done gave advice on.
Yeah.
And they just hit you with the, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that sounds about right. And then turn around and call you again with the same thing.
Yeah. So when we look at things like that, I know that a lot of thought goes into these situations or these connections, because we're looking at the level of commitment that is there, maybe the history, the label of who these people and things are. But that's what this energy is speaking on. You needing to get down to the nitty gritty and basically see if this is something that is still for you at this point in your life. Because the Hierophant comes with the Two of Pentacles, and one of those pentacles is rotten. Like it's worn out.
It's there, right. It's about to fall off. Right.
When there's new opportunities opening up for you, but it's going to be hard for you to feel free on this new pathway or journey in life if you're still sitting here committing yourself to past things that, again, you've outgrown in one way or another. You know, like I had a situation where I feel like I had to choose between what I was doing in that present moment and moving forward versus like what I was doing in the past. And this is probably when I started to come into tarot. And at that time I had moved away from my hometown. And when I came back, I had a different perspective. Like I was about my business. I was about forward movement and really on my spiritual journey. And the person that I was friends with at that time, she was still very much in a past mindset, you know, still wanted to do things like we were doing in high school and hang out and talk all day. And at that point, like I couldn't, like I'm trying to start a business. I'm trying to like be on my grown shit, you know, like we both had kids. We couldn't sit up here and hang out and talk like we were still in high school.
Right.
And though I played that role before, like where I was in life, I had outgrown that. And so it did end up causing a big clash between our friendship because, again, she just wanted to hang out all day and chill and talk about people and things from high school. And at that point, you know, we were like 5 years past that. And to her, it seemed like I turned my back. But for me, I had to choose myself in that moment because there was nothing that was going to benefit me from staying in the past or staying in that place where I'm not bettering myself.
Right. I think we all have been in those type of relationships.
Yeah. Well, it's here again in some kind of way, shape, or form. And I feel like this is something you've already left behind. But I feel like the fears or the insecurities or the worries or the doubts is really what's still playing on you here and there, because the Two of Pentacles comes with the King of Wands. So we have counterparts here in separate decks, which lets me know, again, you have a balance of your feminine and masculine energy, which means that you know how to keep things going. And if you tune into Patreon or the collective reading this week, we are talking about how you actually have been learning how to follow through in the past few months. I feel like collectively there's this energy where we start things and then we stop because our emotions go high and low and all over the place. But throughout that, we've learned how to follow through. Mm-hmm. And maybe we followed through on things that we didn't seek as valuable. I don't know how to explain it, but I just feel it very strong. Maybe you didn't follow through on those goals and those plans that you had in place, but you followed through on that laziness or that not sticking to your schedule. Like it happened in a backwards way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think it's just the energy of learning that you know how to pull yourself up when you're down, and you know how to pull yourself back when things just get too much. And so you have this balanced understanding of when life requires a little more from you and when life needs a little less.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said that perfectly. Right.
Okay.
You balanced it out. You become grounded now where you know when it's time to shut it down and you know when it's time to like hustle.
Right. Right. And I think it played a big mental like game, because even in our moments of like, all right, we chilling, we resting, we got to pull back, we were fighting against that, wanting to do more. And that was the whole point of like knowing when enough is enough and when you need to be like up and on it.
Yeah, because that's very hard to do. When you in hustle mentality and all your life, you about work, get this money, you on the move. And then you reach this period of like nothing and doing nothing and having nothing to do. Like that does start playing on your mental, because you start believing like you're not doing enough. Or you're not showing up, or you're nobody. You know, it's so many things that start messing with your head around doing nothing. But then you'll come to realize you needed that rest period.
Right. Okay, so perfect. So to add off of that, now that we have the Queen and the King of Wands, what's intercepting the two is the Five of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. That's indecision. But that is indecision simply because of things that people have said or tried to put on you in the past creep up and haunt you in your moments of stillness. And that is a moment for you to not challenge yourself and be like, I gotta prove people wrong or this wrong. It's for you to sit on that and really see through the illusion that it was trying to place on you. You've had your moments of pushing through that challenge. And just because you hit a moment of stillness or this waiting period, it is for you to clear out those unwanted, warranted, thoughts or feelings. You know, even if you are in your resting period and all you hear is your mother in the back of your mind saying you lazy and you'll never account to anything, that was your moment to sit down and reflect and be like, but I made it through this and I went through this and now I'm here. I'm not where I used to be. It's for you to now cancel out that thought and that voice in the back of your head. Like, that's not the truth anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's like you got control of your own on and off switch.
Right. So I think through this waiting, through this stillness, we've learned what we're going to put on ourselves and what we're not. What we're going to allow to stop us and what we're not. What we're going to allow to take on as what we're feeling and thinking, and what is everyone else's that we've accepted to put on us. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So again, the balance between the feminine and the masculine says that you know how to feel, you know how to process, you know how to protect, but you also know how to keep shit moving at the end of the day. So it really comes down, again, a message from this week is life is colorful, but when it gets confusing and chaotic, you make that shit black and white to make it as simple as possible. And that's when you go into your masculine energy and you felt your feelings. That's what got you stuck in the first place. But then you remove that and you get down to facts. Is it supporting you or is it opposing you? And you have to make choices according to that to move forward confidently. Okay, so the Queen of Wands has the Four of Wands underneath it, and this is like a wiping a slate clean, and building a whole new foundation. And again, this one doesn't have the terrors of darkness trying to peek out at the corner to make you feel insecure about what you're doing and where you're headed. Like you've really cleared yourself of the distractions that were once in place to keep you feeling hopeless and helpless. So it's kind of like a mind over matter thing. Like you really got to get down to the nitty gritty of what
next step you're going to take.
Right. What is supporting that next step that you need,
right,
and what is not. And the balance of the Queen and the King of Wands is also the beauty of you being able to transmute energy in a way to where you don't have to be hostile. You don't have to be argumentable. Y'all know what I mean. You don't have to get ugly, because that's the downside. That's the low vibration side of fire energy. It's manipulative. It's controlling. It's narcissistic. It's like just doing whatever you can do in order to have things your way. And that's also why you offset the people and things that have tried to control you, because you have a freedom to you, a freeness that just allows life to be what it is. And you work with what you're given to create more.
So you learn to let shit roll off your back and you just roll with the punches.
Yeah. And you acclimatize energy in a way to always create more for yourself and bigger and brighter opportunities than anyone could have ever imagined, right? So real quick, the Five of Wands is connected to the Three of Wands. So whatever you're getting ready to head into next is something that you could not even perceive yourself, let alone people and things who have been trying to look into where you're headed. And that was done purposely, because I'm trying not to just go so much into the reading, but this was just a strong energy today. The people who have tried to come against you, which is not the focus, but I want y'all to see how this energy works. People who have come against you to make you lose hope or not believe in yourself or what God has put within you are the people who, like, they don't believe it until they see it. So they need physical, tangible proof of something before they become a believer, right? Whereas you are the opposite. If God put it in your heart and tell you what it is, you are a believer in making that happen. Like, you don't need to see it first.
You believe the unbelievable.
Right, which is why these people have went as low as they have in the past or even now to try to do things in the dark. I don't know. The best way that I could explain it is like, instead of trusting what we saw for ourselves, like if I said, I'm going to be a singer when I get older, and these people like, yeah, right, that's not right, that's not gonna happen. And then they go and get a reading from someone else, and the reading says, oh yeah, they're gonna be a big singer one day, then they start to believe it. But it's like they had to go outside of themselves to seek that guidance and understanding. So even when people basically think that they're gonna pull one over on you or are 10 steps ahead of you, they're going off of only things that they can see in the physical. And at the end of the day, God has control over all of that. So like, I don't know, I'm not trying to go too deep into it. The point of this is saying that you know yourself, and you know when things are opposing you in a way to go against yourself. And so whatever plans that you've been putting into place, though there's been delays and stagnation around it, and you may have even put it on the back burner and decided to settle for second best, it's not going to happen that way. It's not going to happen that way. But you had to go through that transformation in an upside down, inside out kind of way in order for it to, I don't know how to flow it, but for it to come in the ways that it is. Yeah.
No, I think you said that right.
Yeah, that's all I got. I'm literally out of words. So, yeah. You don't walked away. You done wrapped up a cycle. And again, you're gonna have people trying to come back and trying to pull on your energy in some kind of way to kind of bring some sort of confusion. But you can't allow that. You can't let that start to make you second guess yourself now, because you are truly in a stronger, wiser position than you ever have been. And you got to understand that everything is starting to surface, like everything. And so as much as things are trying to pop up in your reality to make you question yourself or maybe even throw you off emotionally, that's where that balance of that masculine and feminine energy, right? It's like if someone would have done something really fucked up to you in the past, it would throw your whole day off and you would be like, oh my God, like I just want to go lay in bed and need to recover. You're going to be in a place where like, damn, that shit was fucked up. But at the end of the day, like, I guess that's problem. Just what it is, right. You know, like God is always going to find a way through something for me. You know, as long as you know who you are and what you're doing and the choices you're making, other people's consequences is not yours. Mm-hmm. So if your hands is clean, you've been doing right, and you live morally under, you know, doing good and being good, then you should not be anticipating anything bad. And even the things that may appear bad are still working for your greater good. Right? Yep. You know how I was saying, like, that example of a person trying to move to Paris, but then they feel like they got 99 reasons why they can't. And then they lose their job, and they lose their car, and they lose everything that they were responsible for, and thinking, like, that's the end. Like, there's no hope. But God was really freeing you from all these responsibilities and these things that were keeping you from the reality that you truly wanted. Mm-hmm. So again, when something seems hard or difficult or stuck, try to look at it from an upside down perspective.
It always works in your favor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Woo! You got that out.
Got it out. All right. Yeah? Nothing else to close it?
No, I think you said it. I think you said it.
Well, what is the ending motivation for people to balance out on?
That you've closed the door of the past and your distractions, and now you have your future right in front of you.
Yeah.
And you have decisions to make, but with a clearer mind.
Yes.
A new mindset. And everything that's in front of you, it can be 2 doors or 5 doors. All those doors are going to be newness.
Right. Your possibilities are endless.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for vibing out with us. We love you guys, and we will talk to you in our next one.